Hicran bilen Mecnun bir gülü çıkarken bulak boyuga şundu körüp Leyli boyunu tolgan iken arzu derdige
One would hide to keep civilians hidden away. Just for the moment, promise only a moment. It's only safe to pray. Pray in the silence go. Whoop, whoop. Hold up, hold up. Bombs in the distance, bombs in the distance. Whoop, whoop. Hold up, hold up. Bombs in the distance, bombs in the distance. Whoa. Move back, move back. This is gonna drill. Push back, push back. Move back. Brother die, then kneel. Push back, push back.
I think Cultural Arts Collective is really about combining the spirit of innovation and working as an artist with working with communities. How can we work authentically with those two ideas? Not contemporary artists exploiting or making artwork from community, but making with. How can we bring them together to create something that's amazing, funky, real, and that can live for 1,000 years?
I connect both Maria and Richard with an era in Western Sydney where artists were connecting and making work, late 90s, early 2000s, but making work with this energy and this excitement and this dedication.
From the 90s to 2006, we've been working, I've been working as a music producer in the community, working with different diverse communities to create music for them, to empower them. In 2006, we got a Create New South Wales Artists Fellowship, which allowed us to get all these wonderful people we met to come and play on our album, on our Blue Mary album. So that was 2006-07. So that was a real turning point for us. We went from helping others for them working with us together. So that's really what's informed the rest of our music practice since then.
There's space made for new practices like hip hop, and I sort of hear hip hop as a really great element in the work that's coming out of the Cultural Arts Collective. A way for artists to talk about very urgent issues in a way that's direct and meaningful.
First time I played with Richard and Maria was at the Blue Mary CD launch back at 2013. I was introduced to them via MC Trey, a local legend in the hip hop scene, and ever since then, been working with them since. First gig was amazing. They had these support acts who were not quite rock, and they weren't anything I've seen before. There were musicians from around the world, but it seemed like they all lived in Australia. And that was the amazing thing about Blue Mary, is that they were giving this, or they were allowing their platform to elevate and spotlight different kinds of music. And that was amazing to me, seeing all that.
The richness of the world music artists in Western Sydney and the diversity that just opened up our ears and the possibilities of collaboration on a whole other level.
So the future has got to be making sure that people can actually begin to experience different forms of music.
Hi, my name is Shonrat Tusun. Welcome to my house for the Sydney Sacred Music Festival. Hi, come in. Yeah. Look, this is my home and my wife Ramila. Just a long time ago, the pictures. And this is me when I was young, 24, 25 years old. And this is my family's. Hi. This is my kitchens and my culture. And this is the mother-in-law, father, and mothers. And we'll come back.
Operating within the politics of love. And so by saying the politics of love, you're framing love in a really broad, conscious, socially aware way as well. None of us have invented that kind of framing. There are writers and poets, African American, people who've used that framing, but you have to find it for yourself in what you do. In our kind of work, it's about why you do something, and it's about how you do something, and it's about who's doing it, with whom, for whom, by whom.
I started the orchestra in 2014. I turned up to Riverside Theatres for a meeting. They've been a great supporter of the Sacred Music Festival from the start in 2011. I turned up in 2014 because the pressure's on, you've got to create ideas, because the only way we got money is that I sell these ideas to Robert at Riverside. He goes, okay, I'll pay for that, that's cool. And I rush back to the music, goes, hey, we've got some money, let's do something. So this time I got the silly idea of taking on the Western classical music people and going, why can't these guys who we're working with be playing at the Opera House every week? I'm going to create an orchestra that can take them on.
I really hadn't seen anything like that before. I hadn't seen that level of craft and expertise and art, but from different types of practice coming together to make music together.
musically, I think it's the representation is there, and you're hearing like multiple voices as well, and then you're hearing the sort of the fusions between those as well. So the cross-cultural conversations that come with, you know, where musicians from different cultures get together and they make a different type of music, and that's historically the story of the world. You know, different cultures come together, they make something new, you know.
When I saw Worlds Collide and saw, okay, so here's a sort of, you know, the next iteration of what this means, which is trying to create spaces for those different sorts of music practices that we've nurtured and let flourish here in a multicultural Australia. How do we then get them talking to each other? You know, is there a new musical language that emerges from this? And I think that's a really powerful idea. Creating space for collaboration and sharing of ideas, so that in the same way that, you know, we walk past each other on the street, you know, we can kind of share musical influences and musical dialogues, and maybe create, you know, something very uniquely Australian.
He comes up with killer bass lines. I'm like, Jonathan, you've just slayed me again. Play that again, play that again. And you know, and so we'll start a song, sometimes based around just his killer bass groove lines, and then Worlds Collide, we're off and we're sailing, and there's another song, you know, riding on the back of one of Jonathan's grooves. He's a groove master, hey.
And we there. You guys said, "Baby, to play BBR."
Feed there, but yeah, yeah, feed there, but yeah, yeah, feed there, but yeah, feed there, but yeah, ooh, yeah. I'm telling you, that song, if you hear about it, go for it.
Yes, yes, yo, yes, yes, yo, yes, yes, yo, yes, yes, yo. 5 to the 6, 7 to the 8, everybody in the spot say rock this place, rock this place, rock this place, rock this place, yeah, rock this place, yeah. Come to rock and rise tonight, we rock the bells like a 85 flow, rock the stage like it's dynamite, hey, don't make like a mate tomorrow, we go way back. We had this much fun to since away back.
People like Richard and Maria had spent many years working with artists in Blacktown, primarily I remember. Blacktown, bringing together musicians, whether they were professional musicians from their countries of origin, or whether they were young people whose music passion was something that connected them to others.
So the sacred is a sort of a very broad concept in it, and it does include the religious, but it includes everyday life. It includes children. It includes relationships with other people. The sacred. Everybody has their own sacred. What is sacred? And it can be linked to religion, but more often than not it's not.
Thinking of Maria, you know, when you meet someone, not only just hires you, when you see another woman perform and you see their style and how they be, it's like you become friends straight away. There's this beautiful frequency that I always like to say that it's like a camaraderie. It's like, hey, I'm a part of this community, this is what I do. It's not about being a woman, but the fact that she happened to be for a woman to perform for the Women's Festival, you know, it's like, yes, like we become sisters all of a sudden. It's like, this is the beautiful thing about music.
And I think working with the women that I do in the video clips, such as the song I Am or Woman most recently, is a way to show diverse faces on screen, you know, representing women from all walks of life, shapes, colours, sizes, and that's all beautiful. A real highlight moment was working on the video clip for I Am and having 10 diverse female artists dancing to the song, and it's an ode to womanhood and the positive things we aspire to, inequalities, things we don't often see but that drive us in life, such as inner beauty, strength, divinity, kindness. Creating those platforms through Blue Mary for women is so inspiring, such a highlight for me, and that's what really drives me and creates such excitement and such an honour for me to empower these voices through my music.
I am wise and powerful. I am rich beyond belief. I am everything inside of me. I am pure. Well, I am kind. I am precious. I am divine. I'm beautiful. I am everything inside me.
The future is about Australian contemporary music having multiple meanings, that is grounded in the songs, the songlines, the rhythms of the people of this land, the First Nations, musicians and vocalists and storytellers, grounded in that, and simultaneously as guests and visitors and people settled here, that all of our music is also part of that.
There's plenty of music there, there's absolutely no doubt. I mean, the future should be that some of that can actually be taken to the point where people are actually earning a significant part of their income from it and are actually being given a platform that one can see it. I've always found it's a little bit too that people have tended to get caught in their own communities, so they play music for their community. I always go on the principle that there's so much fabulous music that people who don't even know that music style will actually find something really interesting in it.
Artists that we found throughout our journeys in Western Sydney, like we found Shurat Tursun working as a truck driver in Casula. He's an amazing vocalist, an amazing dutar player, brings this 1,000-year-old song cycle culture to our band. Yao Dechi, we met him out at St. Mary's. He's a drummer, he's a dancer, he's a talker, he's a taxi driver. He's got these amazing daughters. But he's really what Cultural Arts Collective is about. He's got a master vibe. He's got a vibe, and our job's been about bringing out that vibe. So we've turned him into a singer, we've turned him into a solo artist, and he's an amazing contributor to the Cultural Arts Collective, plays in most of our ensembles and just brings this life and this ability to innovate. He's got this amazing ability. When I turn him and say, yeah, give me something, he'll just pop something out like, Mujabiya, yeah, yeah. So you go, Mujabiya, yeah, yeah. And that became a whole song for us, just by going, hey man, what have you got? It brings that spark. We've got other sparks coming in, and that's what Cultural Arts Collective does. It collaborates, ignites sparks, and brings it together.
Me da wa wa say wa wa say wa wa say. Me da wa wa say wa wa say wa wa say. Me da wa wa say wa wa say wa wa say. Me da wa wa say wa wa say wa wa say. Me da wa wa say wa wa say. Wa wa say wa wa say. Wa wa say wa wa say. Me da wa wa say wa wa say. Me da wa wa say wa wa say wa wa say. Me da wa wa say wa wa say wa wa say. Me da wa wa say wa wa say wa wa say. Me da wa wa say wa wa say wa wa say. Hey,
I was also at the event on the car park rooftop in Parramatta with the Worlds Collide event, which truly blew my mind. The activation of a car park rooftop was something that we should do more often because it was a great space. And that was, I mean, it was musically powerful. There were great things going on, but that's an event that I remember for its visual power. There was something about the space in which it was happening, a very urbanised space with these instruments and musical practices, you know, that date back thousands of years from places a long way away from a rooftop in Parramatta. And it felt and looked really like, oh, this is Australia. This is what it actually looks like now.
I think our point of difference is our diversity, if you like. So you can go from, you know, Western tradition through to, you know, South Asian, through to Indigenous, through to, you know, like it's the lot. I think that is the point of difference. And what's more exciting is that occasionally it all comes together.
Really want to make these connections with these festivals around Australia, where we can get the Western Sydney sound out there and into their spaces and show them what a place-based sound and project can do. So I really believe it's about creating something authentic from your neighbourhood. These neighbourhoods are really powerful, and we're about taking these neighbourhoods to the world.